coming up to Carnival Midway, which is still in effect, and didn't get the ticket prices on the Carnival, but I did get the ticket prices on Stock Show Rodeo, and we'll talk about that about right now. So they're doing Pro Rodeo, which is the last night of Pro Rodeo, and then on February 1st and 2nd, they'll have the first final round and second final round, and the winner will be announced on the 3rd. And the Pro Rodeo's last night is tonight. That can cost you per ticket between $70 all the way to about $120 or so per seat. And you could do like multiple seats or whatever, you know, in the stadium all over. They'll have certain areas if it's not sold out. I think the Magic Mustang did sell out, which was basically male and female riders jumping over they're just like having a Mustang out there jumping around, jumping over equestrian obstacles. And so the rodeo is a big deal. It's been going on since 1896, so about 120 something years, 120 odd years, right after the Civil War that set up. So the Fort Worth Stockyard and rodeo is pretty old. I think like 127 years or something in that ballpark figure. Yeah, so about $80 a ticket on average per seat. You can go up to about 100, sometimes even 150, depending on how close you get. Most of those sell out, and we will not be seeing that tonight. We're dropping off restaurant food. One last note on the rodeo, stock show and rodeo. All the rodeo competitors for the last 3 rounds, which are on pro round right now, that'll go into finals tomorrow, and then the second finals for the next day, and then the winners will be announced. They are paid out. $1 million is what's online. So the prize is up to $1 million. So we're basically just headed to patient pickup. That's where they're gonna guide me in. Building A. This is Baylor Scott Line. This is basically where I was born. Some of the area where I don't really know what it looked like whenever I was born, because well, it's hard to describe. All right, so I did make it into Building A. There's a Witch. It's a pretty cool sandwich. I do sandwiches and stuff. This is like, that leads to Building A right there. All right, so I don't know if it was close to here, but it was very difficult to find, but I found it in pretty good time. Yeah, thanks so much. And that's the balcony area right there. All right, so here's some information about some doctors. He, of course, wouldn't have been here because he would have been dead when I was born. And it goes all the way back to 1896. Right there. It's All Saints Episcopal Hospital. Episcopal. And here's kind of the era that I was born in. that area right there. They used to put, well, my mom said they used ether. So what that means is that when the babies were born, they would anesthetize the mothers with ether. That song about ether. Huh. And that would be building A. All right, so it did show some of the things. It did show in the photograph a woman, I think, in labor. So the best they could do is give them a little bit of ether to calm the nerves. Sometimes they pass out a little bit. And that's how they dealt with the biblical pain called labor, which is childbirth. Unfortunately, every woman has to do it if she's going to go through that stage of life. And it's tough. So I think my mother said I was born in the early morning. I'd have to go back and check. She's told me before. But it was like the early morning time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think one of my kids, I believe one of my kids were born in the afternoon. One, I have it all listed. I have it all logged. One was like in the middle of the night. And then one was like in the morning, I think. They were born, 2 of them in the summertime. And we got an impatient driver. We're just gonna have to wait till everything clears here. I might come, well, no, they're gonna try to run me into that right there, because that road right there, that's not level right there. I got them targeted. Over this way. All right, so I think one of my, so I have 3 children. So 2 of them were born in the summertime. They're known as Irish twins. So the first in August, the second, which is my daughter, my first daughter, was in July. Then my second daughter, which is my third child, was in December. They're all different times of the day, I think. I'd have to double check on that though. All natural, so we didn't have to do cesarean on any of them. We got ready for the first one, which was the boy. We did a lot of pushing on him for about an hour. I think it was like a 12-hour labor period or more than that. Usually most labor periods are about 24 hours in a lot of cases, in that ballpark figure. But the pushing only went on for an hour for the boy. And the girl, the second one, I think it was maybe like 30 minutes of pushing. And then the third one came out fairly quick. Maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. It was like really quick. I remember when Lizzie, my daughter, was born, I remember David, I was there the entire time, so I helped. I was like a coach. Those, breathing, all that kind of stuff. Mostly just like deep breaths and pushing. With Lizzie, we did a little prep work. I went to get some coffee, and by the time I got back, she had already crowned and was on her way out. So I didn't get a sip of the coffee. And with Gwendolyn, which was my third child, my second daughter and my third child, I didn't even get a chance to even really think about the coffee. It was very quick. So they get quicker, repetition. First one takes a little bit longer. It's more pushing. The second one, right out. And the third one was like, bam. It was like very quick. To me, it was. I don't know. I didn't time any of them. It could have been longer than I think. But it was, all 3 births it's pretty intense. You're pretty present. Like you come to terms with a lot of things really quick. The more you look at it, the more you kind of observe the entire birthing process, the more you understand, I guess you could say, the meaning of life. It's a little nerve-wracking. I think the first one, I was so nervous, I don't even think I was nervous. I was that nervous. I was like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I wasn't giving birth, but I was witnessing. I was a coach. I was the father in the room. And when the hardest part of it all was what they do is they do a it's basically like, there's a lot of things they do, but there's a moment where they anesthesiologist comes in and has these tools. And our anesthesiologist was in the middle of the night. He looked very cold, very stern. And that was when David was there. And that's when they do the epidermal, I guess is what they call it, or something like that. And it was like, I had to go behind this little sheet. I wasn't, they don't really, I mean, you can be there, but it's better just to keep your distance, because they're injecting into the spine, the lower of the spine. And man, it's pretty intense. And then after that is when she started dilating quite a bit. I think I want to say maybe it's got to be 8 centimeters, something like that, to completely dilate. And if that wasn't going to happen within, I think, that hour or so, the doctor was going to prep for cesarean. So it was getting close to the time where the baby's head had to crown, or we would go in surgery. So they went ahead and got us, or got me, and I think maybe my wife too, in scrubs. I think at least me, because I was going to go into the room with her for the actual anesthesia. But I guess we prayed. Angel was kind of singing gospel songs or humming gospel songs, and the doctor finally came in, and it was enough. I think it was like 8 centimeters. So it was like, okay, we're going to be able to do this. And she was able to give natural birth. So we were really fortunate about that, because that's less complications. You don't ever want to have to go into the surgery. We're ready to go to do that. But power of prayer and a little bit of medicine, and we were good to go. And that's all 3 babies too. And very seldom there was like really no complications at all. It was very smooth. Not that I can remember any. The anesthesiologist may have given her a little, I don't know, maybe a little too much on the first one, because she did have some side effects a few months later. But that was addressed for the second and the third baby as well. So it's tough, for one woman to have 3 babies. It takes a lot of talent for a woman to do that, to have 3 babies. It's pretty tough. Some women can have 10. I mean, I don't know if I'll share the exact times of my children's birth. I may have already done it in our previous vlogs, but I do have it written down in a certain area. And I probably have vlogged it before. But those times make a little bit of difference. It's like, oh, you were born early in the morning and all this stuff. Well, I have it written down, so I know the times. All right, another night, delivery. Not a whole lot happened other than the fact that I got to go to the hospital I was born at back in the 70s. It's much different now. Now they have so much medicine that childbirth is probably almost painless. I'm just joking. No, it probably still hurts. But I'm a guy, I only get to see it. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and head back. Gotta go see Linda and Kitty. Okay, we're getting the pizza. This is $17. You can purchase it at Walgreens if you want to, but I wouldn't. I'm going to return this for an even exchange for cat litter at Walgreens. This is Walmart. It's a Walmart product, but it's Apple. So you can get it at Walmart. This will work. This malfunctions. So this will be changed into cat litter. And this is the one that we will end up using, which is the same exact price. $17 at Walgreens, $16.48 at Walmart. So this will be turned into cat litter on the even exchange. And we'll use this one.
Have a kitty. Meow.